One of our three deceivers once hung out of a helicopter at 2,000 feet. You can tell us who you think it is by voting along in the chat. Let's find out who's telling the truth and who is a chump. Welcome to Chump, everybody, the Rooster Teeth game show all about lying and deception. I'm your host, Jeremy Dooley, and we are joined by a lot of special guests on today's show, starting with deceiver number one, John Smith.
Howdy.
Well, that was the applause I thought it was going to be. Deceiver number two, Elise Willems.
Hey, Jeremy. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the applause, everyone.
Hey, Elise. And deceiver number three, Andrew Rosas. Only two people can sort out whether or not they're lying or telling the truth. The first being today's contestant, the returning Jack Patillo. And the other person being you, the audience voting along at home. So welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show. New people and old people alike.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, Elise. First time on the show, Elise and John. How you feeling?
Yeah.
Feeling good. I've been working on my lies all morning.
Was that a lie?
that was a truth. I could tell.
Maybe it might have been. Who knows? But we're actually switching things up a little bit with the first game on this show. It's a game we've been trying out this season, and it is a game where our deceivers actually won't be lying or telling the truth for a round. I will, because this is a game called Did I Do That? Took a while.
Did I do
Took a while
that?
on that one. Did I do that?
Is this Jeremy? Is this infringement?
Our lawyers will be in touch. Urkel's lawyers are here to tell us whether or not.
I'm more afraid of Stefan or Kel.
Yeah. Or his robot.
So in this game, I'll be reading a story right here. This is either a true story about myself or something that Nick and Christian and them made up about my life that I have to tell lies about. Jack will question me for 60 seconds about this story, and then the deceivers will question me about this story one at a time, starting with John, then to Elise, and then to Andrew, and then back down the line as they keep going with the questioning until time runs out. At the end of it, I count down from 3, and everyone makes a vote. Either thumbs up if they think the story is true, or thumbs down if they think it's false. For the deceivers, that is majority rules. So if 2 people think that I'm telling a lie, then the deceiver's vote is a lie. As for you, audience, you're voting using hashtags in the chat, and it's simply hashtag yes or hashtag no. Did this thing happen to me? And the story is: my car once exploded in a parking lot. My car once exploded in a parking lot. So that is just hashtag yes or hashtag no if you think that's true or if you think that is false. So now I get to lovingly answer questions about this. Jack, there is going to be a time limit. Are you ready to ask questions about this?
I am not.
Well, we'll wait. We'll wait. Waiting is over.
I'm good.
Let's get 60 seconds on the clock. Ready, set, go.
What kind of car was this, Jeremy?
This was a 1999 Dodge Intrepid.
Dodge Intrepid. What color was it?
It was champagne.
Champagne. Nice. Okay. And so what happened that made the car explode?
It overheated like a lot to a point where a part in the engine just kind of blew up and pieces came out.
So when you say explode, did it catch fire?
There was no fire. A lot of smoke
what were you doing that overheated the car so much?
Just driving. Just driving it.
Just driving it. You weren't going super fast?
I don't think I was going super fast. You know my history.
What kind of car was it again?
It was a 1999 Dodge Intrepid.
Okay. And it was red?
It was champagne.
Champagne. All right.
Hell yeah. All right.
I like your style,
and
Jack.
I
See,
try
he
to
doubles
I
back.
try to throw you off.
He takes some
Yeah.
notes and he doubles back. You said it was red. Jack, Dodge Intrepid's, I was about to say didn't come in red. I don't know.
I got my notes.
All right. So now we're moving on to let the deceivers ask some questions. The timer's going to go up. And remember, we're starting with John. Then Elise will ask the next question. And then Andrew asks the next one. And then so on and so forth. John, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Begin your questioning in 3, 2, 1, go.
Was it totaled, and did you get any insurance money back?
It was not total. They just had to replace a part. Elise?
Interesting.
You're from Boston, correct?
Correct. Just outside of Boston, yeah.
Would it be safe to assume that perhaps the producer of this show would want to write you a line that you would say with a heavy Boston accent, such as a car exploded in a parking lot?
My car exploded in a parking lot.
It's fishy to me.
Andrew?
That's wicked bad, kid.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was the car that you got after that car? What was your
I
next
actually
car?
kept... my next car was a Mazda 3. A black Mazda 3. John?
Are you lying?
No. No, I'm not lying.
Okay.
It's totally true. Elise, you get one more question,
right.
even though time's going to run out.
Where's the car now?
Hopefully in a scrap heap somewhere. those questions.
Where's the car? Show us a picture of that car holding today's newspaper. Where's the car?
Right. Where's the car now? Get the car on the horn. Get it in here. So those are the questions that were asked there. Audience, you're just voting yes or no. Deceivers, you got a little time to deliberate if you want. I don't know if you're just completely not believing anything like that or leaning a little bit. John, you want to say it all about how you're feeling?
Yeah, I just want to say, everyone knows this already. Jeremy and I grew up together, childhood friends, and he never owned that car. So
You can't be giving away.
I'm supposed to
stuff
lie
like
right
that.
now, right? Is that?
Yeah, play along a little bit.
I think he was set up by the producer to say,
You think the car in
come
the
on.
parking lot? The car in the
Those were a lot of long A's and in one sentence. And I think it was planned.
Andrew?
See, I gotta
feeling?
think that I think you're telling the truth because no one would lie about having a 1999 Dodge Intrepid.
Yeah.
I think that's embarrassing enough.
True.
No, see, the thing is, he could have had it. Maybe he just didn't. It didn't explode because a lot of I've played this game a few times. A lot of people will pick bits and pieces of reality and sprinkle them in amongst the lies.
Yeah, I think maybe he was being honest about the cars that he owned. Oh, my goddamn web. Hold on.
Sean's going
Sorry. Here, I'm back. Oh, no, you can see my laundry. I think you were being honest about the cars that you own, but not the events that occurred with them.
Interesting.
Jeremy, can I
All
ask you
right,
one
well,
more question?
Sure.
When did this happen?
2009?
That was a bad year for cars.
That was a rough year for cars. There was a lot of exploding cars that year.
10-year-old cars that year.
Yeah. All right. So that is all right. So we're locking in the audience answer right now. So this is going to have the countdown, and you either do thumbs up for truth or thumbs down for a lie. So at the end of the 3, 2, 1 countdown, that is when your vote is cast. So cast your vote in 3, 2, 1, vote. Ooh.
John, off camera.
John was late, but also the tiebreaker there, which was interesting. So both think lie. Jack said lie. John and Elise have gone lie. Andrew went truth, but majority rules. So deceivers vote lie. Audience, let's see what you voted. Also think a lie. 57% think that I'm lying. You know, this game, I have not gotten a single point on this game. We've done this the third one. I have not fooled a single person. And that trend is finally broken because that story is true.
Champagne?
That is a true story of a 1999 Dodge Intrepid blowing up in a 7-Eleven parking lot.
I love that Tom Waits song. It's so good.
Yeah, it's a great one. It's a great one. Elise, I love the logic you used. It was brilliant logic. It really
it was funny. It was some funnies for the show too. You know,
throwing in a couple funnies for the show.
They needed it.
You're gonna have a good time.
So, and
Yeah,
the audience also said no. No points. No points for anyone in that round. We're still
Jeremy, you're
0-0-0.
currently winning.
But we'll hear more about that story in our post-show chump change. But it's time to make some points happen, and points are definitely about to happen because we're moving on to our second game, which is called Pushing the Envelope. In this game, I have a true fact about each of our deceivers in these envelopes. I'm going to shuffle them up and redistribute the facts so they either get their own or they get someone else's. Jack then gets to question each person for 60 seconds to try to determine whether or not they're lying or telling the truth. Audience, you work a bit differently. We'll get to that later. Jack, if you get 2 or more correct, you get some points. So 1 point if you get 2 correct, 2 points if you get 3 correct. And deceivers, total opposite. If Jack gets 2 wrong, you get 1 point. If he gets all 3 wrong, you get 2 points. And so now I will distribute the facts, starting with John. So John Smith, the true fact is that John got drunk in one country and woke up in another with no memory.
Yep.
That is the true fact about John Smith. Elise Willems, the true fact is that Elise hung out of the side of a helicopter at 2,000 feet. And then the true fact about Andrew is Andrew simply played the clarinet for 4 years. So those are your facts. Audience, you are voting on who hung out of the side of a helicopter at 2,000 feet. So Elise is claiming that this is her story, but do you believe that? You can cast your votes. Remember, don't spam the same answer. You can change it at any point you want by using the hashtag John, hashtag Elise, or hashtag Andrew. So, Jack, having heard the stories, who do you want to start with?
I'm going to start with Andrew.
Start with Andrew, who played the clarinet for 4 years.
Clearly
Jack,
he
are you ready to question?
I think, do I have a time limit on this one, or is this question until
Yes.
whenever?
Yes, you got a 60-second time limit on this bad boy.
All right.
So, 60 seconds going on the clock. Ready, get set, go.
What is your favorite piece of clarinet music?
I don't have a favorite piece of clarinet music. We had to play a lot of it in high school for a jazz band.
Okay,
so
cool.
it was.
All right. So name 3 pieces of clarinet music.
I couldn't. I haven't played clarinet in over 15 years, so I couldn't name you a piece.
That's true. I forget most of my stuff from high school. How many different keys are on a clarinet?
How many keys are on a clarinet?
Well, how many like finger placements?
Finger placements. 8.
Just 8. Okay. And so how expensive is your average clarinet?
Like a beginner one is probably about $300.
Okay.
That's
And
how much
what
mine
made you
was.
pick the clarinet over everything else?
I've always had an affinity for the clarinet in jazz music, or at least I did back then. We had to, part of our high school was musical theater high school. We had to pick an instrument to play throughout. Oh, I'm out of time. There we go.
We'll save that for later. All right. So there is some clarinet facts from Andrew there.
Okay.
Jack, who do you want to go to next?
Let's go over to John, because why not?
So John's true story, just to remind everybody, is that John got drunk in one country and woke up in another with no memory. Jack, are you ready to question?
Absolutely.
All right. Begin questioning in 3, 2, 1, go.
John, tell me the story of this.
I was in my early 20s. I used to do a lot of nonprofit work. I was in Portugal screening a documentary. Afterwards, the local representatives took us out. We got very drunk. And the last thing I remember was riding in the taxi on the way to our hotel, and the taxi driver kept meowing. and we thought there was a cat in there because we were so drunk. And then we woke up. I woke up landing in Frankfurt, Germany.
Okay, so you fell asleep in Portugal and woke up in Germany, and you managed to get through an
I
airport.
somehow got on a plane in Portugal, and I woke up in Germany.
How long is that flight typically?
I have no idea.
We're John instant.
What was the documentary you
I
were
was supposed to
screening?
be in London. What?
What was the documentary you were
What?
screening?
Invisible Children.
Okay.
Ooh, Invisible Children.
All right.
How long is that flight? Oh, like that. Right away.
Blink.
All right, Jack. So that leaves you with Elise, and this is the audience's question. Remember that Elise claiming to have hung out of a helicopter at 2,000 feet. Jack, are you ready to question her?
I'm ready.
All right. Question Elise in 3, 2, 1, go.
Elise, would you lie to me?
Jack, you know I would never. I couldn't. It's not in my DNA.
That's true. Okay, so why were you hanging out of a helicopter at 2,000 feet?
Well, you know, James and I love going to Hawaii. We have been fortunate to go a few times. And once we decided to go and take a helicopter tour, because you can go and you can do, especially of movie sets, there's like the Jurassic World, area that they film there. So we were doing a helicopter tour.
What island did you take off out of?
Maui.
Okay. Can you name 2 other islands in Hawaii for me?
Oahu and Kauai.
Okay. And so why were you hanging out of this helicopter? Why weren't you just sitting in it?
Well, because, I'm an excitable person, Jack. I'm known for falling at water parks because I run when I get excited when I see the bucket that pours the water out. And so the pilot had to tell me to not hang out and to compose myself. And James, of course, got upset that I was disobeying the rules of the helicopter.
Way to go, James.
Never disobey the rules of the helicopter. The pilot knows best. And that is the final story from Pushing the Envelope. So audience, last chance to get your votes in. Did you believe Elise, or do you think the helicopter story belongs to someone else? Jack, before we lock in the answer, how you feeling?
I'm feeling like we got a bunch of liars here, Jeremy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. This is tough. It's tough. It's harder to catch people in lies when you've got a little bit of delay here, because it's fun to sort of like catch them. And there's some good stuff though. There's some good information there. Some people threw out some really like specific things, which was good. But I think I may have caught a couple people.
Ooh, all right. Jack sounds like he's feeling pretty confident. So, audience, let's lock in your vote right now on who hung out of a helicopter at 2,000 feet. And Jack, we're gonna go down the line with you. You just have to tell me whether or not they're lying or telling the truth. And we're starting with John Smith. So, John Smith, who got drunk in one country and woke up in another, is he lying or telling the truth?
Now, I wanted to believe him because it was a nice story about, doing like, charity work and stuff like that. But I refuse to believe you can get on a plane and be blacked out for that. That to me seems impossible, especially in Europe. I think that was a lie. I think he is not telling the truth.
You want to lock that one in?
Let's lock it in.
Lock in John as a filthy liar. Moving on to Elise and the helicopter story. Jack, what are you thinking?
So she mentioned the whole thing about Hawaii, which is feasible. Recently, Jeffrey, who you might know, he went on a helicopter tour. Was talking about hanging out the side of a helicopter. I don't know if maybe Elise heard that story and maybe just kind of like brought it to her mind. But
Jeffrey.
Jeff Ramsey.
Ooh, she's good. Ooh, she's good.
But that was something. Like, he was on a tour hanging out of helicopters, freaked out. She said Jurassic World, which I believe Jurassic World was actually not shot in Hawaii. I believe all of Jurassic Park was.
This guy.
Oh, I'm getting into it, man. But all in all, she knows her Hawaii, and I think Elise is telling the truth.
You think Elise is telling the truth? Do you want to lock that in?
I'm going to lock it in.
All right, let's lock in Elise as a truth teller. A clean truth teller. And that leaves us with Andrew, which mathematically means that you must think that he's lying if you think John is lying.
I think Andrew's lying. I think I caught him with the name some clarinet music, and he couldn't name any clarinet music. I think that was it for me. So I'm going to go ahead and say Andrew is lying on that one.
All right, and since you've locked in the other two, we're locking this one in as well.
Absolutely.
As the other liar. Okay, now before we do our full reveal of who's lying and who's telling the truth and see who gets some points, let's see what the audience thought about the helicopter story. 69% thought it was Andrew. John, they really just don't think John's hanging out of a helicopter, apparently. 9%. All right, so they're hoping that Jack is wrong about Elise. They're hoping that Andrew is actually the one. So let's go down the line, starting with John Smith. Jack, you thought John Smith was lying about getting drunk in a country, waking up in another. I can reveal that John Smith was telling the truth. That is a true story from John.
Turns out Portugal doesn't have very tight airport security.
The drunk guy wander onto a plane.
How?
Hey, do you want to hear how?
I don't know. I remember we were going to the hotel. Well, I mean, literally, that was the last thing I remember. The guy was driving, and he kept going, meow, meow. And we're like, is there a fucking cat in here? What's going on?
Yeah. I forgot about that one.
Wow. All right. Well, I'm boned then. I don't think I can win.
Well, on to Elise, who you thought was telling the truth about hanging out of a helicopter at 2,000 feet. So, audience, you thought that story belonged to Andrew. I can reveal that Elise was telling a lie. Elise was lying, Jack. You didn't get that one right, unfortunately.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry.
Right there.
I got betrayed.
Elise.
Which, if so fact, on to Andrew, who you thought was lying about playing the clarinet for 4 years. And I can reveal that Andrew was lying. You got that one right, Jack. He was lying about a clarinet. I don't think a clarinet has 8 keys. I think it's got a bit more. But
Yeah.
And as for the helicopter and who was actually hanging out of a helicopter at 2,000 feet, that was indeed Andrew Rosas. You were right, audience. You got that right. That's 2 points for you. And deceivers, because you fooled Jack twice, you get a point as well. Jack, no points for you.
Brutal.
Which means you're going into the final round as the current chump. So yeah, we're gonna hear all of the stories that we didn't get to hear, elaborate on the true ones, and all of that will be in our post-show Chump Change. So make sure to check that one out. You're a first member. But it's time to find out who is going to be the ultimate chump with our final game, which is called What's in Your House? It's a spin on What's in the Box, which I don't think I have to say anymore because we're in episode 5 of this season. So in this game, all 3 of our deceivers will describe a bizarre item that is in their house. However, 2 of them are making up items that don't exist. And the third one is describing a real item that they actually have. So they're each going to say like a 1-sentence descriptor of the item in their house. Jack then gets to question each deceiver up to my discretion. I'll tell him when to move on about that item. Then he has to say who has the actual item. Audience, you're doing the same thing. Who actually has the item? Either hashtag John, hashtag Elise, or hashtag Andrew. Let us know who has the item. Everything's riding on this one, audience. Not really. I mean, come on. It's a mean nothing show, but it's fine. So let's hear our 1-sentence descriptors of these objects, starting with John Smith. John Smith, what is in your house?
I have a genuine life cast of Gary Busey's face.
A life cast of Gary Busey's face. Elise, what is in your house?
I have a ceramic tile that has a painting of a kiwi on it.
Painted ceramic tile. Andrew, what is in your house?
I have a mascot head of a chicken full of books.
A mascot head of a chicken full of books. Jack, you got your work cut out for you, man. So,
Jesus.
Time to start questioning people. Who would you like to start with?
Let's go ahead and start with Andrew again.
All right, starting with Andrew, the mascot head. And this one, you can just start questioning whenever you're ready, and I'll tell you when to move on.
Okay.
So off you go, Jack.
Andrew, A, why?
Well, the reason I have it is because it was at my mom's house, and she was just trying to clean house and get rid of a lot of stuff, and it had been sitting in my high school bedroom closet for a long ass time, along with some other stuff, and so she packed a bunch of books inside the mascot head and
What kind of mascot is it exactly? Is it a high school mascot?
It's actually not a high school mascot. My uncle Raul used to have a chicken restaurant down in San Antonio, and this was like the mascot for the restaurant. And I don't know how he got it.
And so it's a chicken then? What exactly is the head?
It's like a mascot. It's like one of those like big mascot heads that it has a suit part, but that disappeared a long time ago. I have no idea where that is.
Okay, does your head completely go inside of it, or is it one where it has the hole cut out?
No, your head like completely goes inside of it, and it's got like the little like mesh guard like right here in the neck, so you can kind of see out of it.
Okay, and so why are there books in it?
It's just more stuff my mom was wanting to get out of the house, like my old books from high school.
All right, Jack,
Okay.
we're gonna make you move on here. Moving on to another item. Who would you like to move on to?
Let's talk to Elise. Let's talk to Elise
Elise
Come
about
on.
the painting. We'll get you best for last, John. We're saving.
Okay, all right.
So Elise, I just said that. All right, the question about the painting. Jack, whenever you're ready, go for it.
All right, Elise, what makes this ceramic tile so special? Why did you keep it?
Well, from my helicopter story that I like to travel. And when I acquired this ceramic tile with the painting on it, I was in New Zealand at the time, as a matter of fact. Jack, I'm so sorry I lied to you before. They made me do it, and I didn't want to.
What part of New Zealand were you in?
Do it again. Pardon?
What part of New Zealand?
What part of New Zealand? Oh my God, we went after RTX Australia, and I'm totally blanking on where we were on the north side.
Auckland.
You can't participate. You're not on the show. We were in Auckland.
Auckland, New Zealand. Okay. And so why did you buy this?
Because when I travel, if I can find a ceramic tile that has like local art on it, I buy it wherever I go.
How many ceramic tiles do you have?
I have, I think 4. One from at least from Hawaii.
All right, so this is a relatively new collecting. What kind of kiwi is it? Is it the
You
bird?
can always
or is it
find
the bird?
ceramic tiles with art. It is the bird.
Okay, what color is the bird?
It is brown, as a bird is.
All right, I'm cutting off there.
Okay.
There's
Jack,
the
It
kiwi
is
tile.
brown as a bird is. Okay.
All right, and that leaves John Smith with the face mask. Jack, you ready to question him?
Yeah, why not?
John's sweating.
He's sweating. All right,
It's a
Jack,
warm
go ahead.
one.
All right, tell me how you acquired a life mask of Gary Busey.
eBay.
So, you spent money on this thing? How much
Yep.
did the Gary Busey mask cost?
It was $150.
$150. Okay, and so around what period is this life mask from?
I believe it was used in a few films in the 90s, but I think the cast was made for Predator 2.
Okay. And God, that's such a weird fucking thing. So where do you have this displayed? Is this something you're proud of?
It's in my living room. My roommate didn't want me to hang it on the wall, so it's sitting on a bookshelf.
Okay. And why Gary Busey's life mask?
Because I'm a big Busey fan. My whole life, I've loved Gary Busey. I watched the show I'm with Busey. I dreamed of meeting him.
Name 4 Gary Busey movies.
I'm not good at recalling information.
Well, you said Predator 2. I'll give you that one. That's one.
The Frighteners. Okay. Oh, that's Jake Busey. I'm with Busey, the TV show.
Okay, sure. We'll call that 2.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of the one with Keanu Reeves, but I keep thinking Pulp Fiction. Just so
Break?
you know, I'm terrible at recalling information like this.
Okay. All right. I figured someone who had a Gary Busey head would know of at least a few movies that he's been in.
I'll give you one more question, Jack.
John, are you lying to me?
I am not.
Okay.
Wow. There it is. The answer straight to the camera. All right. So, Jack, you have all your stories. One of these is true. One of these is an actual item they have.
Oh, man.
Audience, last chance to change your votes if you want to. Jack, any thoughts?
It's tough because I know Elise went to New Zealand. I know that. I remember after RTX Australia, a few people went to New Zealand, and she seems like someone who would collect ceramic tiles. Andrew, I want to say, got me last time I was on the show with a story about a cop or something. I forget what it was exactly. It's weird because I could see Andrew with a Gary Busey head more so than John. which is
The game
weird
is not
to me.
who has the Busey head. That's
I
not
know. If someone knows where all my frames went to, could you please tell me? I'm losing all my internet here.
Point Break, Silver Bullet. I can name actual Gary Busey movies.
Predator 2.
And Predator 2.
I'm with Busey. And Elise's, that seems like you guys all did a great job of, or at least Andrew and Elise were doing a good job of like looking off, like I'm looking at the item. I'm going to go ahead and say I don't believe John. I'll say that. That's my process of elimination. I don't believe John. It's really a toss-up between Elise and Andrew.
All right. Well, we'll get the final answer in just a second. Audience, let's lock you in. So your answer is now locked down. You're done for the night, audience. Thank you very much for playing along. We'll see how you did. Jack, who has the actual item?
I want to believe Elise. I want to. I don't know if I can, though, because she lied to me earlier. Oh, I'm gonna go. I don't want to, but I'm gonna go with Andrew. I think it was Andrew. I think he's got a head full of books.
A chicken head full of books. Locking it in?
Locking it in.
Locking in Andrew Rosas. And it's time to see what the audience voted. Audience, who has the actual item in their house?
Yeah, I knew they were going to vote for Elise.
John, not great. not great, man. They're voting Elise with the kiwi ceramic tile. So, Jack, you said it was a toss-up between the two, and you and the audience went the separate ways.
I could have coin flipped that one, and it seems like Elise was too obvious.
As a bird is. As a bird does.
As a bird.
So, deceivers, grab your items. I'm going to count down from 3, and then you're going to lift up your items. Of course, 2 will be nothing, and 1 will be the actual object. So, reveal in 3, 2, 1, reveal.
No!
Yay! There's Andrew holding nothing. And Elise with the kiwi ceramic tile.
Yeah, Dick's in the kiwi.
And then John Smith with his cab driver, apparently.
I knew it. It was too obvious. I thought I was getting thrown off.
I told Andrew, I was like, if you want to just go for an item, go for it. Chicken head full of books. So there you go, which means, Jackie got it incorrect. Audience, you got it correct. Congratulations on that. So that means the audience gets a point, the deceivers get a point. Wow. So audience ending with 3 points, deceivers ending with 2, Jack ending with the goose egg, which means that on this episode of Chump, Jack Patillo, the contestant, is tonight's Chump. There it is.
Oh, no.
It was a valiant effort. Great stories all around, very much so. And I can't wait to hear the truth behind some of the lies in our post-show Chump Change show. So if you're a first member, if you're not a first member, become a first member so that you can watch Chump Change and hear about the drunken airport and the helicopter and even the clarinet. Yeah. Hear about all of those. And also, thanks for playing along. If you weren't playing along, you're watching this later on the site or on YouTube, just go to the site, sign up. It's free, and then you can get in the chat and play along next episode because there's not that many left this season. So get in while you can before Chump goes away again. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next week. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen. That's our show, everyone. Thanks for watching, and let us know in the comments who fooled you. Remember, if you want to play along with us live, all you have to do is go to the Rooster Teeth site, make an account. It's free. And then Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central Time, you can play along with us. So we'll see you there for that. Bye, everyone.